Week 4 is about the ways to engage English language learners in community life. This is part 1, helping students become independent learners. Community-connected learning is a set of strategies to engage young people in learning experiences beyond the classroom. In the best community-connected learning activities, students come to understand the nature of expertise in a career area and the connection to academic learning, to understand how they might pursue and expand upon their own interests, and to observe and work alongside adult experts in a variety of workplaces and occupations. What does a high-quality, community-connected learning opportunity invite English language learners to do? Advance their language skills by interacting with English-speaking adults in the workplace. Become better integrated in the wider community. Experience being treated as adults. Participate in learning as an active rather than passive process. Earn wages while charting long-range career plans. Gain access to high-skilled jobs. Gain understanding of the opportunities available in post-secondary institutions. Therefore, we see that community-connected learning helps students to be independent learners. We all know a good education requires a great deal of teaching. However, the most important thing is not a teacher that teaches, but a learner who learns. In fact, we could argue that the more the teacher teaches, the less the student learns, or at least the less capable the student will be of learning. Contrary to popular belief, the primary job of a teacher is not to teach, but rather to facilitate learning. When students are taught, they become comfortable with just being taught. On the other hand, any student who knows how to learn will be able to continue learning all his life, even if nobody is around to teach him. Independent learning is essential for students to become successful. When the students set objectives, assess, and monitor their own academic growth, it is known as independent learning. It is vital for students to handle their own stimulation towards learning. Students who are energetically occupied in determining how and what they learn are generally more encouraged and occupied. This is not surprising, as independent learners are immensely concentrated on their personal learning objectives. Independent learning is a method and beliefs of education by which a student obtains knowledge by their own endeavor and grows the capabilities for exploration and analytical assessments. Nowadays, students are too dependent on their teachers or parents. Some of the students are not eager to take a risk or don't want to try something new, or they don't seem to have good problem-solving skills. So the question arises, how to help students to be independent learners? 1. Offer opportunities to reflect on learning. To make students independent learners, they should be continuously motivated to reflect on their performance, and even if they have met their learning objectives. This will definitely help students to become more independent and aware of their strengths, progress, and the weakness they are making. Acknowledgement of progress will help students to set up motivation and confidence. Opportunities for evaluation and reflection do not require taking much time. Only consuming 2 or 3 minutes at the end of the class is enough. Asking the question at the end of class will help learners to develop essential analytical skills. 2. Make learning objectives clear. It is an essential point to help students to be independent learners. Sharing the learning objectives with the class helps students to see what they're focusing on, and they will also be able to assess whether they have gained it subsequently or not. This step can be done at the starting of a class. If you wish to form an actually independent learning experience, you have to obtain them right from the students. 3. Convey learning decisions to students. If you make all the decisions for students and do not offer a chance for them to make their own decision, it is not possible for them to become independent learners. It's essential to offer the chance to students to make decisions about their learning that will offer them a prominent level of self-determination. But this should be a moderate method, and not all students will be ready to take overall control from the start. The growth of responsibilities established over time will assist students in becoming more self-independent. 4. Teaching learning and planning strategies. Some students do not apply independent learning strategies as they do not have good strategies. So, teach study skills to them. This will help students monitor their work, effectively plan their time, and learn to plan. These all are life skills that are used by independent students. The students love to feel grown up, so remind them that these skills will assist them in becoming successful adults. 5. Give feedback on learning. Giving feedback on learning is also important for students. The feedback also helps students grow their skills and talents. They are required to become more independent. Provide feedback in an encouraging and sensitive way. When the teacher gives feedback to students, this will encourage and motivate them to do better in all the fields. Effective feedback should permit students to learn efficiently and also understand properly where they are presently learning. So, this will help students to be independent learners. 6. Focus on the methods as well as goals. Focus on goals is also essential to be an independent learner. Students need to start thinking about how they will get to their aims once they set their goals. The one way to assist students in getting on track is to offer them a set of successful criteria which play a role in a direction for the various tasks they require to complete. If the students understand what they are required to do to be successful and independent learners, they will progress much faster and be more encouraged when their goal is too close. 7. Use questioning scaffold to independent learning. To help students to become independent learners, teachers should have to use questioning. Here the objective is a moderate, steady movement of responsibility from the teacher to the learner. Teachers must grow effective classroom discussions by asking open-ended questions and higher-order questions. Due to this, the responding flexibility of the students' responses to assist thinking, deeper understanding, the problem-solving skills. Independent learning has many advantages and helps students a lot. It increases motivation and confidence, improves academic performance, and so on. All the above-mentioned points will help the students to be independent learners and to become successful in all the platforms of their life. Peace and community-based approaches can be transformative for students, teachers, schools, and communities. Making these approaches work means taking a fresh look at the school community, the wider community, and the environment, and working out how they can best support each other. Here are some pointers drawn from the experiences of real schools, students, and teachers to help plant the seeds of place in new school communities. 1. Learning and caring about place. Connecting and engaging students by using the local environment and culture as the starting point for learning and caring about the wider world. Develop an inclusive and caring school ethos and culture, encouraging the school community parents, teachers, and students to feel listened to, cared for, involved, respected, and valued. Ground the whole school vision in sustainability, starting with the local place and community and extending to the wider world. And share ownership for building the school's identity with staff and students. Utilize leadership styles that involve shared planning, good communication and the active involvement of the school leader in teaching, and school activities to support a culture of care. Nurture students' sense of place by allowing plenty of opportunity for unstructured play or quiet time in familiar natural place. Give teachers adequate support, resources, planning time, training, and flexibility to develop their own teaching practices around place. 2. Responsible citizens. Empowering students to make a difference in the local environment and community, creating caring local and global citizens. Encourage the development of links between students and local representatives, charities, and businesses to help identify manageable projects where students can have a real impact. Give students plenty of time and opportunity as part of school to experience and work in the wider community. Encourage students to contribute to the development of community service provisions, for example, by encouraging markets for local food to help disadvantaged groups. Build links with schools and communities in contrasting localities at home or abroad to raise awareness of diversity and global issues. 3. Active learners. Real-world problem solving. So students create knowledge with teachers as guides and co-learners. Learning is often interdisciplinary. Use themes and action-based projects to make connections across subjects and issues, and link classwork into both the school community and into learning in the local environment and community. Collaborative planning of the curriculum framework is needed, particularly at secondary level, to find the most effective synergies and projects and avoid duplication. Allow teachers to help design the curriculum. Encourage whole school learning that involves all students across all ages and classes. One way of doing this is to adopt an annual theme, like the forests, rivers, and mountain themes. Encourage students to learn by doing and be creators of knowledge, with a teacher as a guide and co-learner who may not have all the answers. Action-based and creative arts projects help with student participation and create more engagement and ownership, all while developing skills in strategic and critical thinking and problem solving. 4. Effective contributors. Students' questions and concerns play a central role in determining what is studied and how. Make students' concerns and questions central to the learning agenda, helping them to identify issues they wish to address. Involve students in supporting the school community, including fundraising, and ensure that their contribution can make a real impact. 5. School in community. Building two-way partnerships between the school and the wider community, including local organizations and business, and making the most of the outdoor and community classroom. Be ambitious and outward-looking. Use the local environment and community as hands-on learning resources and encourage parents, community organizations, and businesses to bring their issues to the schools. Take students out into local wild places and community venues and invite community members into the school. Make the school a model for a sustainable community that can act as a learning hub and role model for the wider community. 6. Relevant for the real world. Assessing schoolwork not just on its competence, but also on its wider contribution to students' growth, the community, and sustainability. Make use of a range of assessment methods. Encourage community organizations and parents to contribute to assessment. What difference has the school made for them? Change takes time, and success naturally relies on a healthy physical and social learning environment with good relationships between educators, administrators, and students. Many schools will already be connecting students with their local place and helping them discover how to make their own place in the world a positive one. In part 2, you will learn about ways to involve students in community life by implementing various projects and teaching outside the classroom. Stay with us.